Man, Lex Luthor got to be one of the biggest haters in all of media. I'm sorry, Kendrick Lamar. Welcome back to another video of Everything Movies. I'm Jefferson Cole, and today I'll be doing a spoiler review for Superman. Alright, before I get into the spoilers, drop a like on this video and subscribe if you haven't done so. That helps the channel a tremendous amount and it'll keep you in the loop when I'm coming here to talk about anything, movies, or just nerdy stuff like this video. Now, let's get into it. First thing we have on my list is Supergirl. Yes, she's in this movie. She's at the very end and she comes in with a hangover from some party that she was at off-world with a red sun, because apparently the yellow sun doesn't allow Kryptonians on Earth to get drunk and have a good time. So she has to go off planet to go to another world with a red sun where it can weaken her immune system. But I thought it was really funny, and apparently her dog Crypto is not like Superman's dog. That's her dog. So she came at the very end to get Crypto back, and I just think that was really funny. I'm excited to see her new movie. They just announced it that it'll be out next year in 2026. I guess self-titled Supergirl, so I think that'll be pretty fun to watch and just to see how different her character is. I do have a few questions about how her character might be for the movie, like how are her origins and how is she different from Clark Kent. I do know that in the comics, like she actually, I want to say she grew up on Krypton. I'm not too informed about her character, but from other media that I've seen, I believe that she actually did have a childhood at least on Krypton, and then was sent to Earth a little bit older than Clark was as a baby. So I don't know how that's gonna change in this new stuff, because I know Clark is older than her. So if that is the case though, like how is her Kryptonian persona different from Clark's human persona, because he basically grew up on Earth. He identifies more as a human than his Kryptonian side. So yeah, like I would like to see that little contrast in her movie. In this movie, we see Lois and Clark in the beginning of their relationship, and their relationship is not as strong as what we are used to in other forms of media for Superman. We all know Lois and Clark are like this power couple, and I like that we got to see them in their early stages of their relationship, them being a little bit more unstable, them being kind of learning each other, and still showing off Lois's reporter personality and how she brings that into her relationship, and how sometimes bringing her work into her relationship is not always the best thing for them. And I did like that there was like a scene in this movie where, I mean, it's also in the trailers, but that entire scene played out, like they don't show the whole thing in the trailers obviously, but the whole thing is about like 3 minutes long, I would say. And she's recording this conversation, this interview for Superman, and you can see how her questions, because she's such a good reporter, you can see how her questions would trigger him in a way, and he's like, I wouldn't answer that, but then she's also like, but this is what I would ask genuinely as my reporter. Yeah, I thought that was really cool to see, and just to see how they're going to learn each other. I would love to see more of their relationship and how it grows in the next few movies. Whenever they make a sequel for Superman, I would love to see stuff like that. Now, I want to talk about Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor, man, that dude was insane. Like, he was a very big hater. He literally studies Superman. Like I want to put him on the same level of Eobard Thawne, like the Reverse Flash, but he's like, I don't think he's there all the way, but like Lex Luthor definitely was up there. Like both of them are obsessed with their counterpart superheroes, and in this movie, this guy really showed it. Like every step of the way, he was always ahead of Superman in some way. And then in the end, when you see him lose, and I was just like, wow, this man really wanted to. That's how obsessed he was. And it's just it's hilarious, but then it's also that's really good for a villain. Yeah, no, I want to see Lex Luthor come back. Obviously, he will come back. He's too smart to stay in jail. He's too smart of a villain to remain locked up. And I honestly want to know who's smarter, Lex Luthor or Mr. Terrific? Because part of me wants to say Lex Luthor is, but because I know Lex Luthor, I know what he's capable of. I've seen him in so many iterations, like so many pieces of media, like video games, TV shows, like movies, other movies and stuff. And so I know how smart he is, but like I would like to see him compared up. Like some people online have said that Mr. Terrific is like the third smartest in the DC universe, and like he's kind of so humble, like he chooses not to be the smartest. But I would really like to see like them go head to head, and like I don't know, maybe if it's like a chess battle or something. So this next thing is something that I caught the second time that I watched this movie, is the corporate metahumans. Like the Green Lantern and Hawkgirl and Mr. Terrific, when they first came into the scene, I'm sitting here thinking like they're just like superheroes of their own accord, like superheroes that they just decided to become a superhero, like most natural superheroes that we've seen in media. But apparently in this world, they are actually corporate. Like they work for a company, and their job is to go out and be a superhero. And I just thought that that was an interesting aspect of this world. I mean, but now think about it, now thinking about real life, I figured like if we really did have metahumans and a company was like, hey, we will pay you to be a superhero, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would want to sign up for that. So like, but that goes into question, like, are they morally good? And they kind of like tiptoed onto that topic a little bit just through the characters' actions. They never verbally talked about that in this movie, but you can kind of see like how Superman's way of being a superhero is actually drastically different for the Justice Gang in this movie. They were like, let's just get in here, get the job done, and get out so we can go home. Superman is like, no, let's fight this big monster, but like not kill him. Let's study him, send him to like some outer world like zoo or something. And Superman is like, he's very much more caring for all forms of life, whereas these metahumans are just humans with powers. And we do know in most forms of media, we do know that humans you know, tend to like not always care for lesser life forms, or like life forms that are not like as smart as them, or as like, you know. So, you know, I love that they kind of like pointed fingers at that, like, you know, concept. And then Hawkgirl actually did have a line towards the end of the movie that I really feel like they put the nail in the coffin on this idea, because she said, the guy was like, please put me down, like, and she had got the one of the villains, and she had got him in disguise. He was like, please put me down. He was like, if you're anything like Superman. She was like, I'm not like Superman. She just dropped him and let him die. And like morally, you know, as a superhero, most like superheroes that choose to do good and choose to become a superhero, most of them have that line that they won't cross. Like Batman has that line of no killing. Superman also has that line. Spider-Man has the line. And so most of them won't do it. But then there also are superheroes that will. And so I liked how they added that line in there, just to point a little finger at this concept of there are differences within different superheroes. Now I want to talk about some things that I'm looking forward to in the sequel of this movie. So for starters, Bizarro. Lex Luthor created a clone of Superman, and this guy helped Lex Luthor do a lot of his plan in this movie. But at the end of the movie, obviously Superman is fighting his clone. He finds out that it is a clone. The clone gets beaten, and he flies, like not flies, but he falls into a black hole. And obviously, knowing me as a superhero fan and just a comic book fan, I know that if there's not a body, then that person is not dead. So I'm thinking like, yeah, this clone is gonna come back in some form of way and become Bizarro, because Bizarro is usually Superman's clone, but he like gets morphed and mutated into some big monster, and that's kind of what Bizarro is. So obviously I think that Bizarro will return in the second movie, and that'll probably be the main villain. Another thing that I'm looking forward to for the next movie is more of Jimmy Olsen. I really liked his character in this movie. I thought he was funny. I thought they only used him as like almost like a plot device, just so he can get information from this girl that was really into him. But I'm like, why is he like? I just thought it was funny, like that they used all these women, like they were showing all these women that were into him, and that he literally used his looks in order to get his way with the girl. That, you know, it was funny. It was kind of stupid, but it was still kind of funny. And I would like to see more of him in the next movie. Like, give him an even more important role rather than just being a side character. Because Jimmy Olsen is supposed to be like Superman's close friend, and like he's supposed to be like like up there with Lois Lane, like making decisions and helping them solve mysteries and stuff. So I wanted to see a little bit more of that. We got a little bit of that in the end when they were like working together, like trying to put the pieces together and show how Lex Luthor is kind of behind everything. But I think that I wanted more of that, you know? So hopefully in the second movie they'll do that. And lastly, I hope that they start to hint at the Justice League, because as much as I like the Justice Gang in this movie, they're just not what I want, you know? And I feel like when Superman finally decides to make a team, because obviously, like, they make him weak enough to he gets beat up a lot in this movie. And so they're kind of, for me, it looks like they're setting up for him to rely more on a team rather than just being this overpowered superhero that can just beat anybody. So I kind of like that route that they're doing. But anyway, whenever they do bring a team together, I want them to start hinting to that in this second movie. At least saying like, oh, there's this other superhero in Gotham that I think, you know, could be a good prospect, or like maybe actually show him meeting Nightwing or Martian Manhunter or somebody, or like just anything, just hint at it. Because like I said, there is a difference between like corporate superheroes and superheroes that work on their own accord and like try to just make the best decisions that they think is right. And so I would love to see that contrast. Like if the Justice Gang gets bigger and then the Justice League is finally formed, will the public see the Justice Gang as the main superheroes, or would they see Superman and the Justice League as the main superheroes? And I really do like how the world right now that Superman is in, the world does look up to him. And I feel like they would accept him in a new team. If he were to create a team, they would be more willing to see Superman and his friends as like, oh yeah, I trust Superman, so I trust them too. So I'm excited to see something like that. Maybe not make the team in the next movie, but at least hint at it and at least give Superman the idea. Like, okay, I don't think I can do this alone anymore. Maybe I need a team. And granted, he already kind of has that idea, because in this movie, he was like sitting down while the Justice Gang were outside fighting, and he was like, well, they can handle it. So he kind of knows that there's other superheroes that can handle situations. But I want him to like really feel like, yeah, no, it's time for me to make my own team, you know? But overall, I really feel like it was a solid movie. And I'm excited for the next one. I might watch Supergirl. Not too sure. It looks kind of like they're gonna make her too funny, too like unserious, and honestly, I mean that's cool, but like because her character is like younger and like teenage form, I mean that's cool for me. But I think it'll be fun to see a second Superman movie. Like if that were announced, I would be like, I'm there, like, you know. So that's how much I really like this movie. So drop a comment below and like share with me if you've seen this movie and what do you think? What are you most excited for in the future of the DCU? And what do you think about this movie? Do you agree with some of the points that I made, or do you disagree, or do you just share with me your thoughts, and I'll be happy to respond down in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe and ring that bell so you'll know when another video is about to release on my channel. That'll be all. Thank you all for watching.